At the family party, I found my daughter's head shaved. My sister laughed. "It's just a joke." I slapped her and walked out while my mom screamed at me. But the next morning, she was at my door begging. When I opened the bathroom door and saw my daughter's head, I swear the world stopped. Her hair gone completely. Long, golden curls that had taken years to grow, now lying in jagged clumps across the tile like discarded rope. She was kneeling on the floor, sobbing so hard her body shook, gasping for air, her tiny fists scrabbling at the empty air above her scalp. And there was Rachel, my sister, standing behind her with the clippers still buzzing faintly in her hand, a grin plastered across her face like she'd just won a game. "It's just a joke," she said cheerfully like I was overreacting. I slapped her hard. The sound cracked through the bathroom like a gunshot. Her head jerked back and she screamed, more shocked than hurt, I think. "You psycho," she yelled, holding her cheek. "Mom!" My mother came running from the kitchen, shrieking my name. "Look what she did to Emma!" I shouted, pointing at my daughter. Emma's sobs were so loud I could barely hear myself think. "It's just hair," Mom said, her voice dismissive. "It'll grow back. You can't hit your sister over a harmless prank." Harmless. I tasted bile at the word. Harmless? She shaved my daughter's head without permission. Rachel rolled her eyes. "You're being dramatic." "I didn't say it was okay," Emma wailed between sobs. "We were playing makeover and then she just started cutting and wouldn't stop." "You're lying," Rachel snapped at an 8-year-old child. I grabbed Emma and stormed toward the door. "Where are you going?" Mom blocked my path. "Away from you people. You're overreacting. Apologize to your sister." "Apologize?" I pushed past her. "She assaulted my daughter. I should be calling the police. It's hair. Stop being so sensitive." I left without another word. I didn't sleep that night. Emma cried in her room until she fell into a fitful, haunted slumber. I stared at her pillow, trying to formulate a plan that would both protect her and make the people responsible really understand the gravity of what they'd done. By 7 a.m., I had my lawyer on the phone. "My sister shaved my daughter's head without consent," I said, my voice shaking with anger and exhaustion. "I want to file assault charges." "Against a family member?" "Yes." "Are you sure?" "Completely." I had photos of Emma, face red and tear-streaked, her hair in clumps on the floor, timestamps on my phone. Every piece of evidence lined up. Next, I called the lawyer for the property my mother lived in, my late father's house. I'd let her live there rent-free for years. Generosity, I had thought. She had taken it for granted. "I need to start eviction proceedings," I told the lawyer. "Any particular reason?" "She defended someone who assaulted my child. 30 days notice. Minimum required by law." Then, I handled the family phone plan. Lines removed. Immediately. Rachel's car, co-signed in my name, reported stolen. By 9 a.m., my mother was at my door, screaming through the glass. "What have you done?" "I filed a police report. Rachel assaulted Emma. It was a joke. Jokes don't involve shaving a child's head while she's crying and begging you to stop. You're going to destroy your sister over this?" She destroyed my daughter's trust, her confidence, her sense of safety with family. Mom hesitated, just a flicker. "Okay, maybe it went too far, but pressing charges? That's extreme. You literally blocked the door and demanded I apologize for defending my daughter. You chose her over Emma." "Shock," she said. "You hit your sister, and she shaved my child's head. Which is worse?" Silence. The next day, Rachel came to my door. She begged, she cried, she promised. But the damage had been done. I wasn't going to let her off the hook. Not yet. I had a plan. She would face Emma, publicly, and understand the consequences of her actions. She would experience a taste of what she'd done. By the following weekend, the family gathering arrived. 30 people, witnesses, cameras, and Rachel, with a bare head, standing in front of everyone, forced to apologize to Emma while understanding the humiliation she had caused. Emma's first genuine smile in a week appeared only when she saw her sister's reflection in the glassy eyes of 30 relatives, realizing justice, finally, had been served. I whispered to Rachel afterward, "That's how Emma felt, except she's 8 and she trusted you." And that glare she gave me, I didn't flinch. I hadn't expected that day to turn into a nightmare. I'd been a father doing the usual Saturday morning ritual, making pancakes with Emma while she danced around the kitchen in her princess pajamas, singing along to some terrible pop song on the radio. Rachel had called earlier that morning, saying she'd pop by for a surprise. I'd laughed and waved her off. She always had some prank she thought was funny. Hair dye, glitter bombs, dressing Emma in ridiculous outfits. Harmless, I told myself. Emma, at 8, was trusting, bubbly, and stubborn as all hell. She adored her Aunt Rachel, despite a few minor incidents where Rachel's jokes had upset her. I'd noticed it, yes, but she seemed fine. I wanted Emma to have a relationship with her aunt. I trusted Rachel. She was my sister. My mother had always treated her like a golden child. And I wanted peace, a family that mattered, so I let her in. From the very beginning, subtle red flags had whispered warnings I chose to ignore. Rachel had laughed a little too hard when Emma described a new hairstyle she wanted. She lingered near the bathroom mirror longer than necessary, whispering suggestions to Emma. I should have been watching, but I was distracted with breakfast and my own work emails. I told myself, she's harmless, relax. But when I walked in and saw Emma on the floor, clumps of her hair scattered like fallen leaves, reality hit like a freight train. I still remember every detail. The sound of the clippers, faint but still humming in the bathroom. The metallic scent of freshly cut hair. The way Emma's tiny body shook, arms flailing as she tried to shield her head. Her sobs tore at my chest. I slapped Rachel before I could think. Reflex, rage, protective instinct. The echo of the slap seemed to reverberate not just in the bathroom, but through my life. Rachel shrieked. Mom appeared instantly, as if summoned by the intensity of the fight, and then the gaslighting started. "It's just hair," Mom said. "Stop overreacting. You can't hit your sister for a harmless prank." I froze, feeling a cold, creeping disbelief. Did she really just say that? Harmless? My own mother, standing there, defending the woman who had traumatized my child. I grabbed Emma and left. Every step toward the car was a mix of fury and panic. Her sobs were still in my ears. She wouldn't stop crying. She wouldn't look at me, and I couldn't calm her. That night, I didn't sleep. My hands shook as I scrolled through the photos on my phone. Emma's hair on the floor, her face red from crying, timestamps confirming the timeline. I called my lawyer at 7:03 a.m., barely able to speak without my voice shaking. "My sister shaved my daughter's head without consent," I said. "I want to file assault charges." The lawyer paused. "Against a family member?" "Yes." "Do you have evidence?" "Yes." Photos, timestamps, and my daughter's testimony. Every detail was recorded. Chain of custody, timestamps, screenshots. I wanted this airtight. I wasn't going to leave it to luck or family drama. Then I moved to the house. My mother had been living rent-free in my property for 3 years. Generous? Maybe. But I hadn't realized generosity didn't come with accountability. I called my property lawyer at 7:42 a.m. "I need to start eviction proceedings." Her protest? Immediate. "You're evicting your mother?" "Yes. She defended someone who assaulted my child. 30 days notice. Minimum required by law." I didn't flinch. Then came the phone plan. Mom and Rachel shared lines under my account. I terminated them immediately. Rachel's car, co-signed in my name, reported stolen. My hands trembled as I made each call. This wasn't personal. It was protective, precise, unavoidable. By 9, Mom was at the door, screaming through the glass. "What have you done?" she yelled. "I filed a police report. Rachel assaulted Emma. It was a joke. Jokes don't involve shaving a child's head while she's begging you to stop. You're going to destroy your sister over this?" She destroyed my daughter's trust, confidence, sense of safety with family. The cold part of me noted her pause, the first sign of doubt. The ice had cracked. Okay, maybe it went too far, but pressing charges? That's extreme. You literally blocked the door and demanded I apologize for defending my daughter. You chose her over Emma. Shock, Mom said, fumbling for words. You hit your sister, and she shaved my child's head. Which is worse? Mom went silent. By mid-morning, Detective Sarah Walsh, 17 years on the force, called. I explained the situation. She listened without judgment, documenting each piece of evidence. I emailed her photos, timestamps, Emma's written statement, she dictated it to me, and screenshots of the conversation where Emma described what happened. Dr. Neil Robertson, a child psychologist with 2 decades of experience, evaluated Emma. His notes: child exhibits acute anxiety, decreased confidence, and fear of familial interaction post-trauma. This was Exhibit D for my lawyer. My property lawyer, Miranda Chen, drafted the eviction notice with supporting documentation, text threads, logs of prior complaints, and explicit references to their enabling behavior. I had 3 institutions validating reality: police, psychological documentation, and legal authority. No room for denial. Even with authority backing me, Rachel and Mom continued to gaslight and manipulate. They called repeatedly, crying, pleading, sometimes screaming. Emma's anxiety spiked. She refused school. She stayed in her room, terrified someone would mock her. I had to choose between appeasing them, letting the abuse slide, or protecting my child. Every instinct screamed the same: protect Emma. I also realized something frightening. Family loyalty had blinded them. They genuinely could not see her trauma. Mom literally blocked my path the day before, telling me Emma's emotions were overreacting. I scheduled the family gathering the following weekend with a single purpose: confrontation, accountability, and exposure. 30 relatives showed up, cameras on, witnesses present. Rachel arrived, bareheaded, eyes wide and terrified. "Do you understand what you did?" I asked. "Yes," she muttered. "And you traumatized an 8-year-old child?" "Yes," she whispered. "And you're going to apologize to Emma in front of everyone?" "Yes." But the real demand wasn't verbal. She had to experience a fraction of the humiliation she had inflicted. She shaved her own head, tears streaking her face, every clump of hair a testament to her cruelty. Emma sat on my lap, watching, finally allowed herself to smile. 30 witnesses, 30 cameras, public exposure, accountability enforced. Justice delivered. Emma's first week back at school was cautious. Therapy sessions continued, but her trust in family and her sense of safety was beginning to rebuild. Rachel and Mom were barred from the house and the family plan. Their reputations irrevocably changed. The assault charges were filed, pending trial, and I had full documentation. I whispered to Rachel as she left, bareheaded and humbled. "That's how Emma felt. Except she's 8, and she trusted you." She didn't answer, just glared. I didn't flinch. Emma curled up in my lap that night, brushing the few remaining strands of hair from her shoulders. "Daddy," she said said softly. I feel safe again, and that was enough. The week after the incident was worse than the day it happened. Every sound in the house made Emma jump. A door slamming, a text notification. Even the sound of a hairbrush being picked up triggered a flinch. I watched her retreat into herself. She barely touched her dolls. She wouldn't look at mirrors. I knew I had to escalate, legally, emotionally, and publicly. I contacted Detective Sarah Walsh again. Detective, it's worse than I thought. Emma's anxiety is escalating. She's afraid to leave her room, I said. Did you bring her in for a full evaluation? Yes. Dr. Neil Robertson. He's assessed her, provided Exhibit D, notes attached, but she's regressing. Keep a log, dates, times, symptoms, document everything. This will be critical if this goes to court. I started keeping a journal. Monday, 7:30 a.m. Refused breakfast, hid under bed. Tuesday, 8:15 a.m. School bus refused. Wednesday, 2:20 p.m. Panic attack over seeing a hairbrush. Every entry burned me from the inside. I'd been trying to maintain normalcy, but Rachel's actions had shattered it. I emailed my lawyer Miranda Chen with a detailed packet. Photos, text threads, Dr. Robertson's evaluation, timestamps, and my journal. Exhibit A through Z, I wrote in the email. Her reply was clinical, precise. This is airtight. We can proceed with assault charges. Also, eviction notice served, evidence attached? Yes, both sent yesterday. Good. I'll draft the formal complaint and schedule an initial hearing. I also contacted a child advocacy group, Safe Horizons, for advice. They confirmed what I already knew. Emotional trauma counts, especially when inflicted intentionally by a family member. Their resources gave me additional templates for reporting abuse, and they offered support for Emma during legal proceedings. By Wednesday, Rachel had called 12 times. Mom had called 8. The texts were worse. He's overreacting. Emma's fine. Just forgive Rachel. You're tearing the family apart. Your child will be okay. You're insane. I did not respond. Every call, every text, I let ring and sit. Emma needed me to be calm. She needed boundaries. At one point, I overheard Mom talking to Rachel over speakerphone. Maybe he'll back down if she apologizes privately, Mom whispered. No, he has to understand, Rachel muttered. I can't do that. I realized then that the psychological manipulation had been going on for years, and I had never noticed. Mom had always gaslit, minimized, and excused Rachel's behavior. This wasn't a single incident. It was a pattern. I wanted everyone to witness accountability. This wasn't a public shaming. It was teaching a lesson in responsibility and empathy. I created a checklist. 1. Confirm attendance of at least 30 family members. 2. Ensure cameras are recording. 3. Have police liaison present in case Rachel refuses compliance. 4. Dr. Robertson available to explain emotional impact. 5. Keep Emma's comfort and safety first. I rehearsed the confrontation in my mind. Calm, clear, firm, no shouting. The evidence would speak for itself. The room was tense. Rachel's eyes darted nervously. Mom hovered near the wall, wringing her hands. 30 relatives whispered, some in disbelief, some in outrage. I started by presenting the evidence. Photos, timestamps, text messages, Dr. Robertson's notes. I explained what had happened, calmly but firmly. Emma sat beside me, still trembling. Do you understand what you did? I asked Rachel. Yes, she whispered. And you traumatized an 8-year-old child? Yes, she muttered again. And now you will apologize publicly. I can't, she stammered. Yes, you can, and you will. Otherwise, I didn't have to finish. Everyone understood. Police Liaison Officer David Kim, 12 years on the force, was ready. Miranda Chen had prepared documents outlining Rachel's legal exposure. The room was electric with tension. Finally, Rachel cried. I'm sorry, Emma, she muttered. No, you're not done, I said. You humiliated her. You will explain why it's wrong, and you will experience a fraction of her humiliation. Tears streaked down her bare face as she shaved the remaining hair on her scalp. Clump by clump, she felt, if only briefly, what Emma had felt. 30 witnesses, cameras rolling, public accountability, justice finally delivered. Emma's smile, small, tentative, genuine, was the first in a week. The police filed assault charges. Miranda Chen confirmed eviction and removal of phone lines were legal and permanent. Dr. Robertson continued therapy with Emma. Rachel's reputation in the family was irreparably damaged. Mom's enabling behavior became painfully visible to everyone. I kept the journal, added notes about Emma's recovery. Gradually, she re-entered school life. Slowly, she trusted family again, cautiously. I whispered to Rachel the night of the gathering. That's how Emma felt, except she's 8 and she trusted you. No response, just a glare. I didn't flinch. Emma curled in my lap. Daddy, she said softly, I feel safe again, and that was enough. 3 months later, Rachel moved out of the state. Mom moved into a small apartment she rented herself. Emma's hair had begun to grow back, and with it, her confidence. Therapy continued, but laughter returned to our home. I knew some scars would remain, some trust had been broken forever, but justice had been served, and I had protected my daughter, the only thing that truly mattered.